your Monday edition of Wasatch Weekends. Now today is Memorial Day, so we just want to thank all of our fallen veterans, and if you are someone who is grieving this Monday, well then we want to extend our love and support to you as well. I'm your in-studio host for the next little bit of Wasatch Weekends, Maddie Evans, and we love getting to be here all weekend long, and then now the new Monday show. We're going to inspire you to get outside and do some grilling for this Memorial Day. So if you are looking for something delicious to make, well then there's some great options out there, and we love to bring you this information. Tracy Miller from Colorful Cooking does such a good job of really making sure that she inspires you to eat healthy, to eat with some delicious ingredients, and she shows you how to make it, which is really important because I know that I struggle a little bit when it comes to cooking in the kitchen. Now we love getting to be here all weekend long, and so make sure that you get ready to tune in starting next Friday, since this is our last show of the week. But we do want to thank you for all of your support here in the community, and so we're going to take a look at that local weather forecast right now, and then we've got more of the show right after this.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
We're here to inspire you to get outside and do some grilling, and so we're going to check in with Tracy Miller, who's going to make some delicious chicken wings on the grill, walk you through temperatures and some other things that you might not know if you're just getting into grilling, or if you're already the grill master, well then maybe you can recreate this recipe at home. So let's get outside to the grill with Tracy.
Drying off my veggies because I did wash them, and I'm going to make a really nice salad today. And if you have a lot of moisture in your salad, then it's going to make the salad dressing and the lettuce kind of get a little bit too wet. So you don't want that. You don't want that last piece of salad bite just to be water. That would be gross, right? So today we are making chicken drumsticks, and we're going out on the grill to do that, and we're going to buffalo style them and then make a salad that is going to be a buffalo style salad as well. So it's like buffalo chicken but a little bit healthier, and it's something that you can cook outside and have a cool green salad with. So what we have for ingredients today: great green salad, romaine, carrots, celery, green onions, and cucumbers. We've got the chicken legs that we're going to be using today. We have some Frank's hot sauce, and then some blue cheese because we're going to be making a blue cheese dressing to go with our buffalo chicken salad. So first things first, we need to head out to the grill. Grilling is one of my favorite ways to cook. Actually, I love cooking meat, veggies, fruit, everything on the grill. First of all, because you get to be outside, but also it's a pretty healthy way to cook because typically you are not using a lot of oil or a lot of sauces or anything like that. So let's head out to the grill with your chicken thighs, and I'll show you exactly how to prep them and exactly how to cook those. They take about 35 minutes to reach an internal temperature of 185, and they are bone-in chicken legs. So there's a little trick to cooking with bone-in. We'll see you at the grill. The grill is cranking. I've got it preheating at top speed, or the highest it can go. I like to have my grill really, really hot, especially when I put some meat on it. Okay, so today here we have our chicken legs. Oh, almost lost that one. We have our chicken legs. They're nice and juicy right now. So what we want to do is kind of dry them off a little bit. The drier that you get them, the better that skin is going to crisp up. So just kind of dry them up and make sure the skin is kind of like in order and flat across everything. Okay. A lot of times when you dry your meat, like if you're cooking a piece of fish or something and you want to get a little crust on it, it's nice to leave it out in the air or in the fridge without any saran wrap on it, because that saran wrap is going to hold the moisture. But if you want a crispy edge, you really need it to be nice and dry. So here we go. Get that skin over there. A lot of people like to use different kind of marinades and things like that. I take it pretty simple. So all we're gonna do right now is cover every piece of chicken with a ton of salt and pepper. And this is a step that I want you to be careful in. With every time that you're doing meat, make sure you're covering that piece of chicken really nicely, because every bite counts. So why not make sure every bite has some nice seasoning? Like I said, my grill is cranking at 400. I am going to put the chicken right on the grill. A lot of folks like to oil their grill up. I just like to have a really hot grill. If you did want to put a little oil on your grill, then you should probably put a vegetable oil, something that can withstand a high heat. And be real careful, because you want to have that oil on your grill when it's hot. So one of my friends was just telling me a little trick that they do when they're oiling their hot grill, is they put a little bit of olive oil in a bowl, and then they cut an onion in half and stick a big fork in half the onion, put that onion in the olive oil, and then rub it all over their grill. I find like it's an unnecessary step, especially when you have something fatty like this chicken with the chicken skin on it, because what's gonna happen is that fat is gonna kind of lube up the grill a little, and you don't wanna be flipping things on your grill when they're not ready. So you want it to be hot enough that it's gonna flip nicely. This is gonna take a little bit of time. We're gonna keep the grill at a very high heat, and we're gonna shut it down, and then just about every 5 minutes or so, you're gonna flip your chicken over. That's gonna make it cook evenly. What happens when you're cooking with meat with the bone in? It's gonna take a little bit longer to cook versus just a chicken breast or a boneless chicken thigh or something like that. And you're gonna have to start rotating it so that it gets cooked evenly around. So when you're cooking something with the bone in, always make sure you have a lot of space in between your items so that the heat goes up and around everything. Keep it at a nice high heat. We want it like right around 400 degrees or so. A lot of these grill temperatures don't work, so just know you want it hot. And you're gonna stand here for 30, 35 minutes. That's about as long as it's gonna take to cook these to perfection, which is 185. Then that's gonna take us a little bit of time. You'll be able to tell if it's too hot, maybe some of the fat's starting to burn, or you see little fires starting on your chicken, then turn it down a little bit. But basically, keep it cranked pretty much to the top, unless you have one of those super fancy grills. Then think about 400, because if you have a super fancy grill, then that thing works. So keep it at about 400. Every 5 minutes or so, we're gonna flip it. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of chill right here and show you as we start to flip things. But for what you should do, cover it up, keep it closed, don't keep it open, keep it closed, keep your lid closed, and then every 5 minutes you start to turn that. So we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes and show you the next step, and then we'll kind of keep going every 10 minutes so you can see what ours looks like, but you can do it on your own time too. Okay, so this is gonna be our first flip, and actually I over-exaggerated the 5 minutes at first because I went and washed some dishes. So this is about 7 minutes or so. See how nice it comes off the grill? That's what you want. So that's starting to burn a little right there, so maybe I should have been back in 5 minutes, but that also means this is the hot spot. So we're gonna kind of rotate these things around so that they're all getting nice and warm. All right, about 5 minutes, that was about 7 minutes or so. Come back in 5, flip it over again. And what we're gonna do is flip it for 4 more times, so we'll be very close to the end next time I see you. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Been standing by the grill for about 35 minutes or so. Your chicken drumsticks should be cooked. You should have flipped them maybe 5 or 6 times. Again, don't get overzealous with the flipping. It's like some people are over stirrers when they're cooking veggies on the stovetop, and that ruins it. You want to get that sear. You want to let things sit for a little while and then flip them. We're flipping them so often because they have a bone in them, and they're going to take a little bit longer to cook for that reason. I have checked them already. They're at 185. Everything's getting nice and crispy, just like what we wanted with that skin. And I think it's time just to pull them off. So I'm just gonna pull all the chicken off. We're gonna make these buffalo style, and we're gonna make a nice fresh summer salad to go with them. So why don't you let everything burn off of your grill for a hot sec. Ha ha. Really, literally for a hot sec. Let it burn off a little bit. We'll get these tossed with some buffalo sauce and we'll get that nice fresh summer salad made so that we can have a really healthy meal.
I don't know about you, but all this grilling is making me hungry. Well, she's gonna finish up the recipe, not only with the chicken, but she's gonna make a delicious salad to go onto the side of it. That way you're inspired to make an entire meal on this wonderful holiday. Now let's go and check back in the kitchen with Tracy Miller from Colorful Cooking, which is also a great standalone show that you can watch. And that way you can get inspired to make some delicious and healthy meals for your friends and family. But let's take a look at her finishing up this wonderful recipe.
All right, I'm just coarsely chopping up the celery and the carrots. And you know, every time you order buffalo chicken wings, what do you get with it? Celery and carrots. So I thought, hey, why not enjoy those with our salad today? Plus, I'm a huge carrot fan and they are so delicious and in season right now. I love celery as well, but celery happens to be one of the dirty dozen. Do you know what that is? That is 12 different veggies that you should really buy organic, because what happens is celery has a lot of water in it. So any of the nutrients that are going into the soil, they're going into your celery as well. Things with like a thick skin, like an avocado or a banana, you can typically buy those conventional if you want, but the thin-skinned veggies, fruits, you really want to buy those organic, and celery happens to be one of them. Okay, so I have celery and cucumber, and I actually have a conventional cucumber, so I did peel it, because when you get the English cucumbers and they come in the plastic, those are pretty nice and their peel isn't that bitter, so you can enjoy those, but the conventional ones, you just kind of want to peel because they do put like a waxy film on that. Okay, so we have our veggies all chopped up. We have our romaine, and then we have our chicken. In order to make this buffalo, and I'm going to tell you what, I have tried to make my own hot sauces millions of times, and I love a buffalo chicken salad. I actually love chicken wings as well. Try not to eat them that much because they are higher in fat, especially since we kept the skin on. But what I try to do is just try to make it as healthy as possible. That's why we're siding it with a salad, and we're using the bigger chicken legs too, so you're gonna get more meat under there, and that's gonna be a dark meat, so it's gonna have more flavor, it's gonna have more fat. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is take a bowl and get your Frank's Red Hot. I'll tell you what, like I said, I've tried many different hot sauces, and I have tried to make my own, and this one really, it's a favorite. It's a favorite of mine, and it's easy, and sometimes you just have to take those easy steps. You're definitely gonna get like a little more sodium and preservatives in something like this, but it lasts, so you can keep this in your cabinet and use it for other things, and it has a really, really nice flavor. So what we do now is we coat those in the bowl, and just make sure you're covering them. If I had another set of gloves, I would probably just use my hands for this, but I feel like they're kind of far away, so I'm not gonna go get them. Okay, so we're gonna let those sit right there for a minute and get our salad going. I'm gonna put the salad right on the plate that I had the chicken on, because first of all, if there were some nice flavors, like some juices on there, that would make everything taste really, really good. This lettuce looks awesome. I'm just gonna cut off the bottom. I don't wash my lettuce, I just make sure it's not dirty and wipe it off with a paper towel. Because going back to earlier when we started this class and I told you, hey, you don't want wet lettuce. I mean, if you're gonna take the time to wring it out in one of those salad wringers, definitely do that. But otherwise, you can just get most of the dirt off this way. And if you feel worried that you're gonna have any kind of contaminants on it or anything like that, wash it off and then dry it off with a paper towel. And that's a nice, easy thing to do with romaine, because it's got, you know, the boats where you can just kind of get right in there. Okay, another thing I like to do is chop my lettuce, because I don't like to rip it, because it kind of starts to bruise it, and you don't want bruised lettuce on your salad. Romaine is so healthy and so good for you. I love it. It's just crispy and delicious. So here we go. We've got that, and we've got all our nice veggies, and I'm just gonna put on top. I mean, this is gonna be a filling meal, and it's gonna be pretty light and super healthy as well. I read one time, carrots happen to be one of my favorite foods, no matter what, always have been. But I read one time, nobody ever got fat from eating a carrot stick. So pile it up with those carrot sticks because they're gonna be nice and delicious and good for you. I'm just gonna chop a little bit of green onion right now. And you can use the whites and the greens depending on how much you want. This is nice because these spring onions are so good during the spring and they're so good all through the summer. Actually, I use these quite a bit even in the winter because they're just a little more mild than some other onions are. Okay, so we're gonna put those on the top at the end, but right now we are gonna make our salad dressing. And what I noticed is that I didn't bring a jar. A lot of times I like to make a salad dressing with a jar. So I'm here in the studio and we have a nice wine glass and a plastic fork. So we are gonna work with what we have here. Here is how you make salad dressing. Basically, you start with some olive oil. So I'm gonna put in 1 part olive oil. And then you have an olive oil and something acidic. So we're gonna use about a half a part, and all these measurements are in your recipe book, of white wine vinegar. We are gonna use ample salt and pepper because this is what's giving us its flavor, although I'm gonna sprinkle a little on the salad. And then we are gonna use a bunch of blue cheese. We can sprinkle a little bit of the blue cheese right here on the salad as well. You could use feta if you wanted to too. So finish that up right there and then just stir it up really nicely. Seriously, it's that simple, my friends. That is our blue cheese vinaigrette. Look how delicious it looks. Okay, so we've got that nice and kind of stirred up. You can put it in your blender too if you really like your blue cheese chunks to be kind of not so chunky. Okay, so now we have our salad. I'm gonna bring it right up here nice and close. I feel like I'm having a glass of wine with my summer salad. I kind of wish I was doing that. All right, let's get our chicken and make sure it's nice and covered with that Frank sauce. And we're gonna put just a couple pieces right here on top. Let me get one of those. So it's gonna be a messy one. If you're taking this on a picnic or out onto your patio, make sure you have a lot of paper towels. Now I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of green onion. I don't know why, I just feel like I always have to have green onion on my chicken legs. Don't forget, those are at 185 for temperature. We've got our really light sauce, and we're just going to pour that right on top. So like I said, this can be enjoyed when it's nice and when it's warm outside and you want to have things at room temperature. You can always bring this for a picnic. Just make sure you put your chicken in a cooler and keep it cool and don't let it get to a weird temperature. But you can really enjoy it when it's at a room temperature. So if you did want to take this on a picnic, it would be a nice healthy meal for you. That chicken skin is not going to be the healthiest part, of course, but the meat in there is going to give you a lot of protein, and the salad is plentiful and fresh. And this is what we made today. I hope you got some good grilling tips. Grilling with a bone, you just have to keep on flipping it, keep flipping it. You can also bake your chicken thighs if you want to, or your chicken legs if you want to. You would just put them in the oven at 400 degrees, and again, you'd be flipping them and rotating them every 5 to 7 minutes or so.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
want to thank you so much for tuning into your Monday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here all weekend long to bring you some great information about things that maybe will inspire you, or things to get you outside, or things that you can do in and around our wonderful community. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm inspired to get out and hit the grill and make some delicious chicken wings for my Memorial Day. Now, we hope that everyone has a nice, happy, healthy, and safe Memorial Day. Now, we are getting very close to June kicking off, which means that it's going to be summertime here where all the schools are going to be out, and there's going to be some really fun activities for you to enjoy. So if you have yet to ride the Alpine Coaster up on Park City Mountain, well, then we always highly recommend that you get out there and you check it out. Also, the countdown to the Farmers Market, Park Silly, is on right now, and this is one of the best ways to get out and enjoy the beautiful Park City Main Street and support a lot of local vendors, which is a really cool way to just see some of the unique things that we get to find here in Utah. We want to thank you all again so much for tuning in to your Monday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I'll see you next time.